So your parents were here and they got together and they got into the computer world.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
that was a good time to do it in the early 70s.
Yeah.
But if they were in New York, or where were they? Yeah, so how did
they were here.
I didn't know there was much computering going on in
Oh,
New
no,
York.
well, they were working for banks mostly. They
Oh,
were,
I see.
you know, my mom was working at the Federal Reserve, and my dad actually ended up working for Grumman Aerospace. So there was definitely a lot of computers happening already. In fact, I remember when I was maybe 10 or so, you know, this is hilarious now, of course, my mother would bring home a terminal to work from home with, if you've ever seen WarGames, you know,
Yes.
that cupped modem where
Yeah.
you take the actual old-fashioned telephone handset and you plugged it in,
Yeah.
right? And she would bring one of those home and connect to the system to work.
Super
and
exciting.
she would let me play on the Federal Reserve systems. And they had like the adventure game, the text adventure game.
You are in a cave.
Yes, you are in a maze of twisty passages, all alike. Yes.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
So you were typing in
Yeah.
pick up sword or...
Exactly, yep.
Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve is...
Crashing. It's like, but yeah.
So you grew up with obviously math and engineering and all that world. Were you good at math and engineering? Did you like science?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love science, and you know, I actually was my graduate work was in computer science. I have a master's in computer science and was working on my dissertation when I actually left to work on a computer game.
Right.
And you know, it's one of those funny things for me. Writing and coding are two sides of a kind of similar coin. Where, you know, what I was doing while I was working on my computer science degree, I was writing fan fiction as my hobby. That was what I was doing for fun. And now that I'm writing professionally, I do a lot of coding in my spare time for fun. Because for me, you know, and actually that's sort of a parallel to the two kinds of magic. In Uprooted, where there's the one that's sort of the artistic way of approaching it and one that's the sort of engineering, analytical way of approaching it, but they're both about creating something, making something that works. And I feel very strongly about that, you know, for me the act of writing is about creating something that works, that does something, that has a function. You know, when it's a way of interacting with another person, right? That you pick up the book and you read it and things happen to you, and I put ideas and images into your head and take you on a story with me, and create an experience. And for me, programming's similar. You know, I'm trying to build something that you interact with that does something.